What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy of By the Hood. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about an asset class that we don't cover that much. We do talk about it sometimes in our podcast, but that's precious metals, as well as collectible coins. Anyone who listens to our podcast knows that we talk a lot about the stock market, real estate. By the Hood, just to give you a little background, if anybody watching for the first time. And if you are watching for the first time, do me a favor and please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Please do that. But so By the Hood started as a neighborhood organization, right? Where we went into the neighborhood and we taught people about the power of ownership, right? Because we believe that ownership is very important to progress, our people. So it's really about ownership. And my background is in the real estate industry. So I've been in the real estate industry for over 20 years at this point. I've done everything as a developer, an investor, someone who works in valuation, even real estate sales. And my partner, Corey, trades options full time. So we came in it from the vantage point of teaching about the stock market as well as real estate. But I wouldn't even consider myself a real estate guy. I'm more of an investor, and I always look for value. I'm more of a valuation guy, right? It's all about value. So I've been buying coins for years, really from a numismatic standpoint. And if I'm being completely honest, I probably wasn't even the best investor when it came to numismatics because I love history. And I was more interested in the history than buying it to preserve value or to increase in value in the future. But along the way, I always understood the value of gold and silver. So I made some purchases in the gold and silver space. Coming into 2020, I said that I was going to increase the amount of gold and silver I bought. And there's several reasons why, right? So I'm not going to pretend to be a specialist because there are specialists in this space and people who create content about in this space. But what I do want to do is take you along the journey as I build up my silver, my gold position, as well as other precious metals, because I'm not, going to be relegated to the silver and gold. And I figured this would be interesting content. So you can see as I build this position up, because I built a nice position up in the stock market, built a nice position up in real estate, and I want to increase my value in precious metals because the one thing I do believe in is diversification as an investor. So what does that have to do with this By the Hood snapback? Nothing at all. I just thought it'd be amazing to show that as I, talk about what led to this video, and also me going deeper into the silver and gold space, right? Anyway, one of the things that happened this past year, right? It's an amazing book right here. Anyone who follows me on social media, and my personal is at JW the Blueprint, but you can follow us everywhere at By the Hood, knows that I'm a huge book guy. This is one of my favorite books right here. It's called The Creature from Jekyll Island, right? By G. Edward Griffin. A second look at the Federal Reserve. I think this is a must read for everybody. They give you an inside look at how the Federal Reserve works. And this book is, I've had this book for years at this point. It looks like I started it in, I think the first time I read this book was in 2000 maybe. Let me see, when did this book come out? I know it was in 2000. This is the actual, I own this book in the Kindle form. I got the Audible version. Shout out to my brothers at War Room Sports, the company that I own equity in, warroomsports.com. But, yeah, 2000 this book was given to me. I'm looking at the date at the top, 2000. So I read the book for the first time in 2000, and it blew me away. And I've been coming back and reading it, if not every year, every couple of years, read a little bit of passages of it. And the Audible book was recently released. So I got the Audible book, started listening to the Audible book as I drive around, looking at real estate. And something hit me in my fourth or fifth, whatever read this is. And I said, man, I need to really build up my position in precious metals because I invest in the stock market every week or every month. Put it like this. When it comes to real estate, the stock market, and even bonds, I'm always a net buyer. I'm never a net seller in any given year. I'm always a net buyer of assets. That's just what it is. I believe in buying assets, and I believe in ownership, and I believe in holding on to them. So something hit me when I'm listening to the audio book on The Creature from Jekyll Island. I said, I need to really build up my silver and gold. And if you read this book, you'll realize why. So in January of 2020, after reading this book for however many time, I said, you know what, I'm gonna build my position up in that space. Having a conversation with Corey, and Corey tells me, listen, man, I was talking to him. He said, anywhere there's money being made, we need to be in that space, right? So I'm an investor in cryptocurrencies, real estate. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not just that, though. I also got the ledger out here. I'm buying crypto, so I want to be in every space. I mean, as a matter of fact, this could be about art because I buy art too. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's not about this. This video isn't about art. It's about what led me to get into this space of precious metals. So, with that being said, I was reading this book and I said I need to really build up my position. And like I said, I've been buying like collectibles per se, probably for 20 years. I know I bought some in the 90s, so longer than 20 years, right? And I'm not an old guy, but I've been investing since I was a teenager, right? I've been investing in the stock market since 96. Bought my first piece of property in like 96 or 97, somewhere around there. After I bought some real estate and I owned some stocks, I started buying collectible coins, right? And like I said in the beginning, I wasn't that great of a collector because I was more interested in the history. But I'll show you a couple of the things that I bought early on, right? So here's a coin here in reference to the Pope. And I'm just going to show a couple of the coins to show that it really wasn't necessarily about the future value, right? There's a coin here. It's hard to see. Let me see if I can focus in for you so you can see. All right, so this is a Pope coin here. Got some bar notes here. If you want to know what a bar note is, you can just Google that. But these are historic bills too. So got some bar notes. I'm not going to go in depth with each one of these is because it's not really the point. The point is just to show that, yeah, Joseph Barr. I got several bar notes here. Talk about history. Wartime nickels, right? From 1942 to 45. These have a small percentage of silver in them. I think it's about maybe 35% or somewhere along there. But anyway, nonetheless, a 30%. But don't quote me on that. But so I was buying things based upon what they meant in history. And sometimes it was a terrible pick. I'll give you an example of something I thought was interesting to me personally. But probably has no value whatsoever, right? I bought this money. I knew Saddam was going to fall, so I started buying money from their country just because I thought it was interesting because I know that, once he falls, this will no longer be the currency. So it's something to look at. It's a piece of history in my opinion, but probably not the smartest investment per se. So I bought these years ago. What else do we have here? Some Kennedy half dollars. 2008 Kennedy half dollars. I got a couple of them here. Got more Kennedy half dollars. So these are just coins that I was buying more as a collector, not necessarily buying for their weight content or anything like that. These are uncirculated. Right? U.S. Mint. This is the coin, every coin from my birth year. So obviously, that's there. My wife actually gave these to me as a birthday gift, but it's every coin from my birth year. So that's part of what I was doing with the collection. This here is a George Washington uncirculated from 2007. I'm not going to get into the value of all these. This is to show that, and here's another one of those. It's the same thing as this here, which is a 2001 Vatican City, John Paul II. It's uncirculated. So that's what this is. And again, this isn't about the value of these. These are more of a collector's items that I was buying at the time. So this one here is a Jefferson wartime nickel. This is a single nickel. This one is circulated. Another Kennedy half dollar. I don't know, for whatever reason, I loved the Kennedy halves at the time. It's an old coin too. Indian head cent. Also got this piece here. It's a piece of constitutional silver, 1963, Ben Franklin, $50. SHA-2 Investment Rarities Incorporated. Company I was doing business with gave me this because I was, buying metal from them. Please find your free lucky coin attached. But anyway, so that's dope, right? So just to give you an idea, and here's some loose change that these is also Iraqi money. Some loose change that I had bought as a collector, not necessarily an investor. And also I had a 2008 American Eagle. This is pure silver, 3/9 pure silver. Now, a little tarnish on here, but I'm not gonna even open it and clean it. I believe in don't touching them. And so this is more of a coin. This is 1 troy ounce of silver right here. And I bought this years ago. I think it was, I bought it in a year. So 2008 is when I bought this. But again, I wasn't necessarily buying for investment purposes at the time, but just looking at what happens in the world and how the dollar and what's going on with inflation and how it's affecting the dollar, and recognizing that I'm kind of short in that space again because I believe in diversification. I said, okay, so I'm going to show you some of the things that I've bought thus far. So I bought some 1 ounce silver bars. These are amazing Aztec bars, right? It's an Aztec bar here, 1 troy ounce. So I got several of these that I bought. And I know I don't need the capsules on these, but I had a bunch of capsules from, when I was buying stuff, so I'm going to use them. So I got a stack of those, another stack. And each one of these is an ounce of 3/9 silver, but they're beautiful. And that's another thing. I got to understand that when I'm looking at buying silver and looking at how much silver is involved, because I'm into the art. Like, the art is just beautiful in some of these things. Give you an example of that, right? This is probably not the best investment, but I own these for a while too. Look at this here. This is copper. I mean, it's probably a good investment when you compare it, you peg it to the dollar, but look how beautiful this is. All right. And similar to crypto. So in the crypto space, we always say, if you don't have, not your keys, not your crypto. And in this space, if you don't have the metals, right, they're not yours. I don't care what ETF you have or whatever. It's about having the metal. So I own, several these copper rounds. And that was bought purely off the art. Again, I understand the difference between investment grade, because copper is not like silver or gold, but at the end of the day, it's beautiful. So I got a couple of several of these here filled with the copper. Look at this. It's beautiful. So you can see, get an idea of just how beautiful it is. So also have these in the copper space. Again, this is about the art, not really the investment value. I'm going to show you these. Look at this here. Ben Franklin. But it's copper. These are all, every one of these is 1 ounce of copper. So, but yeah, so again, I told you copper. I just like the way, and I'm not going to buy too much copper because, again, it's about, value. So I'm going to stick to silver and gold and platinum, palladium, rhodium, things of that nature. But this copper is just beautiful, man. Like, so, but I do own that. So I just want to show that too, those copper pieces. That's what I have in terms of copper. I wanted to just make this video to show you guys that, this is a space that I've been playing in a little bit. But now I'm going to attack it with a different mind state, and that's to buy more, more silver, some bigger bars, bigger rounds, more American Eagles, to build my position. And I do understand that right now, most people will say, well, it's not the time to buy because everything is high. But again, I'm a net buyer when it comes to assets every year. And I don't try to time any market. I don't care if it's the precious metals market, the stock market, the real estate market. I just buy. Because what I know is long term, as you buy assets, they'll always be worth more in the future. So I'm more of what you call someone who dollar cost averages. Because I don't try to act like I'm a specialist. And again, this is not investment advice. As always with every video, this is not investment advice. I don't think that I'm a specialist that can time the market, but I'm someone who knows how to get to $1 and then put that dollar to work for me by parking it in assets. So therefore, I'm always a net buyer of assets. So you'll see me every year buying assets. So what I plan to do as I build up my position in metals is anytime I buy something, which will probably be every week or every 2 weeks, you know, it's not going to be buying a lot. I might buy 1 ounce one week. I might buy 10 ounces the next week. I might buy a kilo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm Pusha T or something. But the fact of the matter is I'm always going to be a net buyer. But I want to share this with you guys and, you know, trying to build up the conversation around metals, because I think that as we look at investments, a lot of people in our community only look at real estate. And real estate is very powerful, right? You know, I talk about why land will always have value, because it will always have value. It's very powerful, but we need to understand there's money out here being made all over the place. And you can get our book. This is a book that Corey and I wrote, On Your Time and Space, for those who may have not read the book yet. I talk about in this book why you should buy space. So it's not that I'm against real estate, but I want people to understand that, yo, there's money being made in metals. There's money being made in the stock market. There's money being made in the crypto space. We need to be involved in all these. There's always a transfer of wealth going on. And a lot of times our people do not take advantage of this transfer of wealth because, you know, either we don't understand how they work, or it's just a situation where we feel like we don't have enough money. And we can show you how to make sure you have enough money to buy assets. But buy assets. And precious metals are an asset. And if you see what's going on with the dollar, you'll understand why it's going to be very important to buy assets. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, let's go back to what we talked about in the beginning. It's this book here. You can get this book in the link in the bio, because we have a running book list, and this is on there, The Creature from Jekyll Island. This is a powerful book. Once you read this book, you may be like me and say, you know what? I got to get more metals. So, you know, or maybe you like the Eagles. It's probably the most popular coin, and it's probably the most liquid coin. You get an American Eagle. This is a beauty too. A little tarnished from it, but it is a beauty enough. Like I said, I've had this. This right now is, it's about 12 years I've had this one. So, but this is all pure silver here. Oops, excuse me there. But it's all pure silver. All of these are pure silver bars, 1 ounce. I want to show you these because I purchased these, and you know, I got some more purchases coming, and as I get the purchases in, I'll go over them with you, tell you why I bought it, and, you know, share that journey with you as I build up my portfolio on precious metals, because I'm going a lot harder in this space than I have been in the past, and, you know, we'll see where it goes, and it's just a beauty, but we'll see where it goes. And no, I don't keep all my metals in the crib. I know some people are thinking, like, what about security? Well, you know, keep things off site. And also, it's protected. I have a bodyguard, 2 bodyguards, Smith and Wesson, that also protect what I do have here. But, you know, everything's not parked here. It's parked off site. And we can get into that in the future, too, how to make sure that, you know, you're secure with it. Because you do want to have it in your possession, but at the same time, you don't want to, you know, have it where you rest your head. You know, don't want to have your stash house when you crash out, in the words of Nasir Jones. But yeah. So anyway, any questions? Leave a comment. Again, I'm not proclaiming to be a specialist. I just wanted to share my journey with you guys. Talk about a different asset class that we don't talk about, and we'll probably talk more about in the future, because we're talking more about cryptocurrency, more about precious metals. You know, we're going to continue to talk about real estate. We're going to continue to talk about the stock market, because all of those things are very important in the wealth building process. Maybe one day we can even, you know, talk about buying art, because I get busy on the art game too. Like I said, I'm a net buyer pretty much in every asset class every year, and just, you know, build up a huge stack of things over time. With that being said, folks, man, I just want to say thank you, you know, for taking your time to watch this. Make sure you subscribe, share this video, and give me your feedback on precious metals and alternative asset classes. I mean, you know, I'm about to get into the spot where I start buying sports cards and comic books. Whatever holds value, I need a piece. With that being said, y'all, peace.